This is Tell Me Exactly. I'm your host, Meredith Jensen. And today I'm telling you exactly all about the Great Lakes Compass event. So we're coming to you live from Elgin, Illinois, where our 2-day Great Lakes Compass event has just concluded. And I'm here with some of our attendees to talk about their experiences. Joining me is Peter Sophie. Hi, Peter. Say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, Meredith. Excited to be here. My name is Peter Sophie. Been in the industry for a little over 20 years. Currently serve as the Deputy Director for Southeast Emergency Communications in Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Also known as
CCOM.
CCOM.
Correct. And, you think that you start to know it all once you've been in the industry long enough, but then you might have an opportunity for career advancement or some other forays into the same industry, and you learn that you don't know as much as you thought you did. So this was an exciting event to attend and collaborate with.
Love it. Thanks for being here, Peter. Also joining me is Taryn Sophie. Taryn, say hi and tell us about yourself.
Hello, my name's Taryn Sophie. No relation to the guy next to me.
But really.
Yeah. I work at LakeCom since March of this year. We're a newly formed 911 center in Libertyville, Illinois. There's 7 separate centers that are consolidating into the one. We're just waiting on some paperwork to go live. But I've been in the industry for about 20 years.
Excellent. Thanks, Taryn. Welcome. Also joining me is Lindsay Zaffron.
Yes. Hi, Meredith. I am also excited to be here. So Lindsay Zaffron, I'm currently the director of Foxcom up in Fox Lake, Illinois, and soon to be moving to LakeCom as one of the consolidating centers as the second deputy director. And I've been in the industry for just under 20 years.
Awesome. So we got the A-team coming in for the new consolidated center. Also brought him in to talk a little bit about what Compass is and what it means to our clients, the regional account manager for the Great Lakes region, John Stones.
Hey, Meredith. Yeah, so it's exciting. I work with these yahoos. It's been a great event, and been in the industry working in this role with Priority Dispatch for almost 24 years, so a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's first talk a little bit about what Compass is. So this is sort of the brainchild of our protocol expert team on which I serve. And we decided last year as one of our goals that we wanted a way to reach our client base at a really kind of localized level and a regional level. So we decided to create these little 2-day events where we could really kind of interact with our user agencies, give them some tips and tricks on things that are currently available, give them updates on stuff that's coming in the future, and of course, just help them with some of the things that maybe they didn't even know so that they can really get the best out of the use of our systems and really be their best for serving their communities. And so this is now our 3rd Compass event since we launched this in January of 2025. And are you guys ready for this? The Great Lakes Compass event was our most attended event so far. So congrats to all of you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for showing up. We had great numbers at this event, and I just asked you guys to all come and talk to us a little bit about kind of what some of your key takeaways were from this event and why you found it beneficial. So Lindsay, I'm going to start with you. What made you decide to show up here for the last 2 days?
Any training opportunity is a good opportunity. So the content that Priority Dispatch pushes out has always been very valuable. So naturally, I couldn't miss it. But obviously, being right in our backyard, it was great to be able to send people that can't normally go to Navigator, especially it's always hard to get our midnight shifters on into classes, and being able to send them just an hour away for a very short event throughout the day was super beneficial. But I also like the topics, so I think that this being a smaller event, I am very used to Navigator, and when you go to Navigator, it can be intimidating to ask questions in the classes and to kind of voice your opinion. So having this smaller, more intimate event kind of opened up that opportunity for those of us that might not want to do that in a bigger environment. So that was that was fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess you probably also saw a lot of more familiar faces,
Yes.
right, at this event because, as you mentioned, we were in your backyard. So, John, I'm going to kind of push it over to you. This event was opened up to all clients that were in the Great Lakes region. Tell us what that is. What's the Great Lakes region?
Well, I mean, so if we look at this area just outside of Chicago, we're just the west side of Chicago. You're able to draw agencies from Wisconsin, obviously Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, even Iowa, which is not part of the Great Lakes, my Great Lakes territory, but also it's a neighboring state. And so it's a great location to be able to pull from all of those users. And by design, it's it's supposed to be, like Lindsay said, it's supposed to be smaller, intimate, but we're trying to get as many people that can attend these events within reason, and within a drivable distance. So a lot of the people, the farther distances were like probably a 4-hour drive, but a lot of people were an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Right. So, Taryn, key takeaways from the 2-day event, what would those be for you?
We saw a lot of people that we've actually seen in the past week, so it's nice to talk to them again and just collaborate.
Yes.
But even being in the same area, we all operate similarly, even though it's a little bit different. When you get to that bigger conference, you have different sides of the country that maybe have fire departments that operate differently. So when you sit and talk to someone that lives in East Bum, Idaho, it takes them 45 minutes for an ambulance to get there, whereas like we're on the phone for 2 minutes. And so talking protocols and stuff like that, we have similar opinions on the use of them.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. The networking options. I saw lots of conversations happening in the hallways between sessions, and I love that. I mean, because this is a really tight-knit group of network of 911 professionals that we have here in the Great Lakes region. So,
and for us too, since we're not operational yet, it got me the opportunity to talk to the larger centers like DuCom and Northwest Central, just to see how they maybe have like their shift change or how they do their seating charts or how they operate day to day, so we can kind of figure that out, because when we go live, we'll be similar size.
right.
So those are questions that we can sit here and ponder, but we don't really have an answer to.
I'm glad you said that too, because that was definitely one of our goals when we were setting up these events. We wanted to make it as much a benefit for all of you to interact with each other as, us standing in front of you and talking, right? We didn't want that to be the main event. We wanted you guys also to be in that space together, because let's face it, how frequently does that actually happen, right? Where you can get that FaceTime with your colleagues that have those answers to questions that you didn't even know you had yet, right? How about you, Pete? Takeaways from this event?
I was very thrilled that I was able to bring a large group of my own people with, because we've recently had some pretty key turnover in key spots. I have a new operations manager, which has inherited a lot of my previous roles, specifically with your product, that doesn't have the familiarity that I do. Mm-hmm. So, huge benefit. It's just the right timing too. I also was able to bring in a supervisor who's one of our main evaluators, who is still learning this process, Aqua, and the feedback and strength-based. She was writing copious amounts of notes, meeting people within the organization and putting faces and names together. Mm-hmm. And then we even had somebody on the line level. So, literally a representative of each of the core functions that we do with this product. So I just find it to be invaluable.
Good. All right, so let's talk about the actual sessions. What were some of the sessions that were your favorites? Pete.
I was a big fan of the ProQA updates. I think it was the protocol updates as well. Mm-hmm. It actually sparked quite a bit of good conversation with my group, because I believe we're actually at 0.51 right now, mm-hmm. which I was mistaken on. But it created a lot of dialogue as to what the benefit of perhaps upgrading to the most current version would provide us. Also, some deeper conversation about, do our agency partners in our county have to do the same? Mm-hmm. So these are all good learning points, again, for these people that are in newer roles within my organization, as they haven't experienced that in the past.
Okay. All right, Taryn?
I enjoyed the mentor one, the full house.
Oh, that
class.
was nice. Yeah.
I have looked at the mentor course obviously I just looked at the description of it. I think it's a great thing, even outside of EMD, to implement at a center. So it just getting that insight into it.
Yeah, I felt like that was a really cool session because we really had a lot of people participating and kind of sharing their own experiences of what the structure of training and mentorship might look like at their agency currently, and then kind of thinking about how could they work this into what they've already got. So I liked that one too.
Yeah, and when we went live with EMD as a center, we were all each other's mentor. It was like, I just got off the phone and this guy said this, and I did it like this. How would you handle it? So it got them to review the materials, the rules, the axioms, stuff like that. But as you start using it, you get away from that entire shift collaboration and mentoring. So,
Yeah. What was your favorite session that you attended, Lindsay?
So I will say that I got a lot out of the reasonableness class. I will be honest and say that that is probably one of the hardest things that I struggle with, is stepping into the gray area of QA. So I think that Leslie and Robin did an awesome job really putting the information out there about when to be more reasonable, and they did great with the class, but I think that class is going to keep me thinking for a while and hopefully drive some good change with the way that I review cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one, especially because the queue process, needs to be very dynamic, just like the call taking process. So I love that they really put a good spin on that. John, any favorite sessions because I saw you.
Yeah.
I saw you attending sessions when I was presenting.
I was trying to do a little bit of work here and there, but it was cool. I mean, actually being on the host side, but also be able to bounce into some of the sessions and be a fly on the wall. Because I'm trying to look at it from both aspects. I'm trying to look at it from the client side, who I'm always working with, and try to get your thoughts and impressions, but also from our side, listening to like what we're discussing, trying to, teach or get the information out. What I really liked is the collaboration, the interaction in the sessions. I thought there was amazing questions, feedback, discussions amongst clients from different states, from different centers, discussing challenges that they have. And to that point, actually, to tell you the truth, I mean, I did love the mentor course and some of the other ones that we were in, but the last one I thought was really cool, just the wrap-up session. I really kind of liked how they, it became almost like a
Ask us anything.
Ask us anything, ask an expert. And there were great questions and that were brought out in that. And those are really this environment with a smaller event where you're under 100 people is more conducive to that type of interaction. And I think that's good for our clients. It's good for us to hear and listen and take back that feedback when we're trying to develop protocols or products that kind of meet your needs,
Yeah, I love that too. I love when our client users challenge us because that's how we grow and develop and evolve and become our very best selves as, an organization. So I know people kind of cringe a little bit when they want to ask maybe a contrarian type of question, but I'm always like, hit me with it. That's what we need to hear. We don't just want to always hear from people who are 100% cheerleaders, because then we'll never improve or change or make any movement. So yeah, I love that too. All right, so as you know, this is something that is ongoing. This is our third Compass event that we've held in 2025. We're just getting started. We intend to do these maybe 3 to 4 times a year in different regions sprinkled throughout the country. And so with that in mind, I would love to hear from you guys anything that you'd like to see at the next Compass event. How can we make this grow and evolve and continue to get better?
Expanding on what John had said, more of like an around the table session where people can sit around the table and either have it focused on reviews or EMD, EPD, EFD. That way it's not sometimes you'll have someone ask an EMD question. That's a bad example. An EPD question. And if you don't use EPD, it doesn't really affect you. It doesn't matter to you. But if you had, I think queuing is the biggest gray area where people have questions, to have like a queue around the table.
I like it. Okay. Love that idea.
I would love to see full day So
Okay.
I was very surprised to see that it was a half a day. And at first I was like, why in the world are we doing 2 half days, not 1 full day? And then to see like Indiana was here. I think there was somebody from Iowa here and Wisconsin.
Ohio, yeah.
Yeah.
We
So-
did that on purpose because we wanted to allow that first day
Yep.
time for people in the area to drive in, to save on that extra hotel room that might have had to happen if they had to come in the night before.
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe you're looking for more?
I would love that. Yes, I think it was, having a full day and then having maybe a break in the middle could allow for additional people to come.
Okay.
So if we have people that, maybe are working the night before, they could come in for afternoon sessions, or people who like being up in the morning could come in for day sessions, just being more available to come out for that. But I think there was so much value to this being that smaller. It just having more of that, I think there's a lot more topics that we would all be interested in, and filling the days would be beneficial.
Yeah, so we delivered 2 tracks of a total of 7 sessions. So 14 in total sessions were delivered over these 2-day Compass events. So yeah, we're always looking at ways that we can expand and make it better. Sometimes it's a challenge to find that sweet spot for scheduling, because our previous events, we've had everybody say thank you for making it only half days, because then I only have to pull somebody off the floor for a half day instead of a full day. So we'll see what happens in the future for scheduling, but we definitely appreciate that feedback.
Maybe perhaps some kind of hands-on element, like maybe that be a simulator, or
Ooh, I like this.
even kind of combining these 2 ladies' ideas into something where it might be a collaborative quality assurance project. Like, we're going to go over this. We're going to go over notable gray areas that trip people up, because I was hearing a lot of feedback from my people like, I thought you had to ask that question. I didn't realize that would be not as scripted. Even though they've had the training, something I like that you said that I'm a big proponent for is refresher. And refresher doesn't mean, well, it's been 10, 15, 20 years. It might be annual. It might be biannual. And it's one of the things that I think of that we do at our home agency is, every now and then we talk about a back to basics training aspect. And, it's easy. As somebody who's queued now for quite some time, you eventually reach a point where you don't have somebody checks and balancing you. If you develop bad habits, you don't realize that till like, oops, our next ACE accreditation or something. So I like that aspect.
Right. So did everybody here learn something that they didn't know before you got here to Elgin yesterday?
Absolutely.
I'm seeing heads nodding, but that doesn't, Lindsay, you gotta speak.
Oh, yes, that's right. That doesn't translate well.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Of course, we can always benefit from refreshers with reporting. Going through those reports and seeing the Excel sheet that Leslie brought up today, I would have never thought to use that to, really drill down on cases. So definitely, I learned quite a bit over the last 2 days.
Same with the reports.
Reports, more training and reports.
Yeah.
I think that may be one of the sessions that we need to tack on to the schedule for sure.
I like the idea about the Q roundtable.
Roundtable.
And where maybe I was expanding on kind of what Peter was saying as well, is maybe where they could even like submit a few cases, like, hey, can we go over this and, discuss it, so we can almost kind of look at
Just
it.
thinking that in my head, calibration.
You know what I mean? And then, because there is that, right? There's the people that are going to be a little bit too harsh or too soft on some of the standards, just calling a little bit, getting ask the experts for the Q aspects would be probably helpful too.
All right. Well, thanks so much, guys, for joining me today. Thanks again for attending this event. The people like you that show up and participate in these events are really what makes it great. And so we really appreciate all of you spending some time with us over the past 2 days. We'll definitely be back. We'll do it again. And for those of you out there listening, if you're interested in Compass events, please let us know where you would like to see a Compass event in your area, because we're coming for you. We are hitting the road with our team of experts and really getting out there to, make meaningful change with our client users. So thanks again for being here, guys. Safe travels back home, and we'll see you next time.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Marta.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to let us know what you liked and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Look for @TellMeExactly to get the latest on all things emergency communications. Tell Me Exactly is a Priority Dispatch Corporation podcast developed by our team of protocol experts and hosted by me, Meredith Jensen, with Cody Ekman as producer, Reading Roberts as sound engineer, Scott Robinson and Jason Barber as executive producers.